feel my spirit come out my body basically. I was struggling to stay in my body, if that makes sense. Damn! And this young lady, she came in the room, and when she in the room, she was still looking in the mirror how cute she looked, how pretty she looked. And I ain't gonna lie, yeah, she looked good, but I was wondering if she don't realize she dead. I understand that I was dead, and I got a glance of what they wanted to happen to me.
Prayer works, Stevie.
One subscriber sent in a voice note in response to the video where me that talk about Obia, and when I was younger, when I was working, then me have a friend with that try guzzle me or whatever I wanna call it. But guys, me I tell you, say this opened my eye to a lot of things. Me believe this lady. Me not go tell you say a lie she tell. She talk about her experience and how she died and came back. She talk about a lady when she was dead looking at looking glass. Guys, we don't have to just listen to that one. I want everybody to try to support the channel by watching it on different device. Please, if you don't have 3 phone, watch it on the 3 phone. Guys, we want to uplift the channel. Also, mash up that like button, comment. Guys, you know, just have to listen that one here to the end because it is just blowing my mind.
Good morning, fireworks. My story kind of all over the place, so I'll try as best as possible to get straight to the point. It started at a point where I wasn't a Christian and I was questioning about God, and I didn't believe in the Bible, right? So one day I encountered an attack, right? I could have feel things in the house, I could feel evil presence. So I knew when demons that were around, I could feel them. So I knew they were around. So because of that, I didn't like sleeping at my house. So in the nights I used to either go party or go someplace, go and hang out. Anywhere besides home was comfortable because I could have feel the evil presence around. Okay. So one day I was lying down, I was home, I lay down, I wasn't sleeping. And when I was just there laying down and I felt this presence. But then the wind blew and the curtains flew up in the sky, in the air, and when that forceful wind came in, something hit me under my belly button, like a force hit me under my belly button. So when that happened, like I was fighting, and then I find myself crying out for Jesus inside because I couldn't say nothing. I was struggling spiritually, so physically I couldn't say nothing. Everything I could say in my mind. Okay, so when that happened, I found myself with issues like I had health conditions. I even went to the doctor, and the doctor, like, basically, it's like they didn't know what I was there for, because I was telling them something and they were like, you know. So anyway, during that time, I went to visit some family members. So I was there, I spent some time, and basically they treated me well as far as I knew. I didn't predict anything strange or abnormal. Anyway, so happened, I left there and I traveled. When I traveled, I was trying to seek help because I realized that that thing was getting out of hand. I started smelling some scent, you know, things really was getting out of hand. When I traveled, I went to a church, and that was the first church I started going to. And the pastor one night says somebody in here has some form of problem, but he stated it out raw, like it was embarrassing. But because I knew I needed the help, I didn't sit down. I ran up there before I could even finish. And the man prayed for me, and the prayer prayed for me. I started seeing different things like stop, the odor gone, and all these things start clearing up and what have you. And he told me that it wasn't 100%, but good enough. And same as he said, that's what it was. So I realized it was for me to like, that was just to keep me in a praying, you know. After all of that, some things happened. I went back home, went back to Jamaica. When I went back to Jamaica, I was dealing with this guy. It didn't work out well, and I ended up with my family members, the same one that I went to spend some time with. So I ended up in that circle. And while I was there, I didn't suspect anything because they showed me like they're looking out for me and so on, so on and so forth. And by this time I went back in church, got baptized again, and you know, was trying to do right. I started seeing some things where I started seeing some things in my dream. Like the face they're showing in real life was the face I was seeing in my dream. I dreamt them total different thing. But anyway, one time I had a dream about some people, they were crossing the river, and I was looking at them crossing the river. I was just being observant because they were looking out for a predator. And I myself was looking for the predator because everyone else was looking out for the predator. But was something inside of me was just telling me to look closely. So when I looked, they were crossing on a rock. Something inside of me said, look closely. And when I looked closely, like the closer I looked, the more I could see what the rock truly is. That rock, the rock itself was a predator that camouflaged itself as a rock. And the people were crossing on the rock, that big rock, trusting on that. They were putting their trust on the rock, hiding from the predator. Meanwhile, the rock itself was the predator. So it so happened that when I get the dream, I didn't understand much of it or what it was saying to me. So I asked a church sister, and the church sister said I shouldn't leave my food out. So I was like, okay, mind you, it's only me and family members at the house. And she said I shouldn't leave my food out. So I was like, okay. I start putting the food, taking the food out of the kitchen and put it in my room. It so happened that as time went on, certain things I started seeing certain strange things. I was running a business. At first it was going fine, and then afterward I see everything start crumbling. Like I was like, I didn't understand. But then I wasn't paying it too much mind. One day I was there, I saw they bring dirt, and instantly it's like the revelation came to me that that dirt is no normal dirt, that dirt is grave dirt. And trust me, they had the dirt there, and they secured it in a way, you know, like a souvenir. So I went to the church and I asked them, what do people do with grave dirt? And everyone was looking at me like, that's not a good thing, that's not a good thing. They use it to what they do with people, like cause them to either rotten out or, but whatever it is not a good thing. That's what they were telling me. I was like, okay, I'll leave that alone. One day it was a Saturday, I remember clearly. That Saturday when I went to go clean church, I left all of them there gathered around. They were gathered around under a tree. And you see, when I left them there, when I came back, I went to church. When I came back, they were gone, the grave dirt was gone. And I was walking in the yard looking for it, as I say, I know they buried that thing. But I could have found it and say, anyway, God, you will reveal it to me, where they buried it in due time. So one day I asked a guy to clean up the yard, like use the weed whacker, because he was right next door cutting the yard. So I asked him to cut out that little part around the chicken coop. Just a little part, because I gave him $500 and I knew $500 couldn't do much. And when I came back, the man cut out from the coop right back to the back door, and I was surprised. And anyhow, I was like grateful and whatever, because he did more than what I wanted him to do, and more than what I could afford. Anyhow, straight to the point, what happened? when I was there raking the yard, raking, I reached a spot where I was raking and the rake stuck. I could understand why the rake stuck on it, but I was persistent in raking, but I might say stop. When I stop and I investigate, I see the thing they planted, the grave dirt they planted, that's the thing the rake stuck on the bag that was planted in the ground. And I tell the man thanks so many times. You understand me? Because actually I got to get to discover where they plant the thing. So in that moment I know I need backup. I need spiritual backup. So I call somebody else. I say I need confirmation because what I'm feeling is like this is not something to tamper with. So the person I talked to, she said she gonna pray on it and get back to me. When she prayed, she come back and she said, that is bigger than me, it's bigger than you. No trouble, no trouble, something like that. So basically, I left it alone. In the same period of time, things was missing off the line. 1 foot of my socks on the line can't find, and I see the person who come in the yard, and when they left the socks can't find. They were borrowing things from me, borrowing thread, but I didn't take it as nothing. Borrowing thread, needle thread, I didn't get it back and what have you. You see, the day that I found the thread was the day one of the family members was cleaning up the place. That day, when they were cleaning up the place, I see the thread. That's when I remember about it because I actually totally forgot about it. I see the thread tied up. The thread was tied up. When I say tied up, that was not taken. That thread was purposely tied up because there's no way a thread could be knotted like that. None. That thread was purposely knotted up, if you see the thing. And I asked him about it. He laughed. I was like, you know what? Leave that alone. Fast forward. I normally go to church in the mornings. So one morning I went to church, but church over extra early that morning. I came straight home, locked up everywhere. Everywhere was locked up, and I was just in the house, lying down. And I heard 2 family members come along, and they were there talking about how much from when they're trying to kill me, from when they tried to kill me, and it now work, it now work, it now work. And the woman said to the man, that don't worry yourself, man. Don't worry yourself. This time it's gonna work. It's gonna work this time. And she was there consoling the man. Don't worry yourself, man. This time it can go work. It can go work. It can go work. And the other one was so frustrated. And he said, and she even eat it and knocked my door. So me and myself, I was wondering what the heck I eat, because I remember when the woman tell me, don't leave my food out after I get the dream on the side. Anyhow, I was there. Then it was after they finished talking everything, they talked about other things. After they finished talking, they were trying to find out if I was there, because I always leave a pair of shoes on at the front in case a thief come, they'll see the shoe and think that someone is there, but they never see the shoes until they finish talking. So the woman come calling my name. I was there and I wasn't answering. You know what happened? They left. She came back in the evening to find out where I was. I said I was at church. I went to church. So I said to her, I went to church. He said, oh, I came here looking for you. Oh, I came here because I came here in the morning looking for you. I said, oh, I was at church. And I sped off with speed. I just, because at that point it was clear and obvious to me that really and truly these people were trying to, from a long time, they were really trying to get me out, but I didn't see that. And they started giving bad report to my mother, talking about this year I was going to go mad and this, that, all kind of things. And it reached to a point one day where me and the guy had an argument. Jamaica, it seemed like me and him always had an argument. So one day, me and him had an argument, and I didn't pray. That day, I didn't pray, and I went straight to bed. But before that, I heard them plotting to a person, calling the person on the phone. And I could hear because the phone was loud enough that I could hear. And they were talking about me, inquiring, asking the man about me. They were inquiring about me. And the man was giving feedback about me. And the man said to the person that I'm spiritual. And they were there, he was there trying to tell the man that basically you want me out, you want me out, you want basically kill, you want to kill me. And the man was saying to him, but she soon leave. Like, in a sense, why you gonna kill her and she soon leave? Because according to them, I in the place where they want to do this with land, they want to do that with land, and I'm there, and like as if I'm a threat to them pertaining to the land. And the man was trying to keep on telling me that but I soon leave, which was true. I was planning to leave. So they insisted, and the man take the name because they called my name. He found a way to call my name. You know, he called my name, telling me not to touch so and so and so. So that's how he called my name to the man on the phone. And the man took my name. So now, fast forward again. That night, I said I didn't pray. And I was so upset, I just went and lay down. That's all I did, went and lay down and I covered my face. You see, that night I felt a presence came in the room. I felt the presence come in the room. But even though I felt it, I could have seen it just by feeling it. I know it was dark, I know it was evil. I didn't have to see it to know that it was dark. I could feel it. The thing started creeping up on me. From my foot come up, my feet started becoming cold. They started feeling cold. That was the light leaving my body. My foot upward, up, and when it reached up to my head, I could feel my spirit come out my body basically. I was struggling to stay in my body, if that makes sense. I was just struggling for a while until I gave up. I said, that's it. A spirit took me, basically asked me where I want to go. I saw a lot of things during that time, and people who were close to me, and so certain people's spirituality, if I could see it in that sense. But it reached to a point where the spirit asked me if I wanted to view the body. So I said, I don't like seeing dead people. So no, I'm not going to look at the body. But I could see from afar people gathering around, and they observing and saying how much this person was this kind of person. It drew crowd. And the spirit asked me where, if I'm ready to go, basically. He didn't say it with words, but I knew what it was saying to me without words, and basically, so I could have communicated to the spirit without talking. And I was like, okay, I'm ready to go, and he took me to a place, to a room. And in that room, I see I know those people are dead, I know they are spirit, but they appear just like how naturally, you know. They look like people, yes, but I know that they were dead. So that was like a place of the dead then. And I was there in the room observing, and I see a young lady coming. And this young lady, she came in the room, and when she in the room, she was still looking in the mirror, how cute she looked, how pretty she looked. And I ain't gonna lie, yeah, she looked good, but I was wondering if she don't realize she dead, like that don't really matter. She was just there concerned about how she looked. And it reached the point where I looked in myself and I was like, I started praying, telling God that I didn't get to tell my mother that I love her, and I was there crying and crying. And in that moment, instantly, I felt so. It's like a force but it was just like that, and it felt like a vacuum. Sucked my spirit back into my body. It was so fast, it was so like, and I felt that, I don't know how to explain it, but that was different. That I never felt nothing like that before. It's not that I could really explain, like, you know. But my spirit came back in my body instantly. And I woke up, yeah, tell my mother I love her, and I explained what happened to her, and she said, no, I was just dreaming, but I know I wasn't dreaming. Because things spiritual, things take place in the spirit before they take place in the natural. So in the spirit realm, I got to visit what they are God, what they planned for me. You understand? So I got that experience of it before it even happened. Okay, so when I got back in my body, so I don't tell my mother I love her, yada yada. The next day, my family, he was upset. He was upset, and he called the woman and tell the woman that is the wrong name the man put on paper. That's the next family member complaining that is the wrong name they put on paper, as the wrong name. And I was like, they didn't even know that I died and come back. So that's how that went. Fast forward, even after I left, they were still trying. Because one morning, I was in my house, and I felt madness, I felt the spirit of madness on me. And I had to shake out of it, snap out of it. Everything in my brain, my mind, my consciousness was just starting to scramble. You know, like when you have egg in a pot and it starts scrambling, that's how I felt everything in me, like my consciousness, I don't know how to explain it, but everything that's supposed to keep a person sane, like I felt like things was just scrambling in my, like everything was starting to scramble, and I felt like I felt like I was becoming mad. That's the best way I could put it. And I had to snap out of it, like, you know, right there, like shake it off. I don't know how to explain that, but that's what happened. Another time, I was in my bed, and some came in my room, start tying me up. Literally start to tie me up. And I was on fasting the day too, you know. And I was there until I break out of it. So many things happened. And when I was there, and one morning, and the spirit said to me, like, be careful of the bird spirit. And from here, this bird spirit or whatever, I heard birds, and after I heard the birds, then I came under spiritual attack, like. So there are things that happen, but I was equipped right before it happened, like so many things, honestly, so many things happen. But I don't want to draw this thing more than it's already drawn out.